How many crunches did you do this month? 100? 500? Maybe even thousands? Now here's the real question. How much weight did you add to them? You would never train your chest that way. So why are you training your abs like that? Scientists actually used sensors on real people to compare 13 of the most popular AB exercises, and one result stood out. That EMG study found that bicycle crunches produced about 2.5 times more rectus abdominis activation than traditional crunches. The same basic crunch you may have been repeating for years. But here's where it gets interesting. Activation alone does not automatically mean more muscle growth. So today, I'm giving you the 2 winning movements from that research, plus one weighted exercise that the study never tested, but your ab program probably needs the most. And I'm saving that one for last, because that single exercise is what can separate abs that actually grow from abs that just get tired. Straight talk, because you know how this channel works. These exercises will not burn the fat sitting on top of your abs. That was the last video. These exercises build the muscle underneath the fat, and that distinction matters. The problem is how most people train abs. Abs are a muscle, just like your chest, just like your back. Nobody trains chest with 200 fast, sloppy, half-range reps. So why do the same thing with abs? And here's the other half of the problem. You don't train chest every day. You don't train back every day. So why are you training abs every single day? Muscle growth comes from tension, controlled full-range reps, and progressive overload. And the actual growth happens between sessions. Abs are no exception. Now, one honest note about the science, because I'm not going to hide the details. Those sensor studies measure how hard the muscle is working during the movement. That's a useful starting point, but activation itself does not equal muscle growth. Keep that in mind, because that's exactly why the third exercise exists. First, captain's chair leg raises or hanging leg raises on a pull-up bar. They use the same core principle, lift the knees or legs, then finish by curling the pelvis upward. The captain's chair gives you back support and doesn't require grip strength. The hanging version adds grip and stability demands. Use whichever option you have. In the ACE study, this movement ranked number 2 for rectus abdominis activation and number 1 for the obliques. And across multiple muscle activation studies, it consistently ranks among the highest. Very few exercises score that well so reliably. But there's one key detail that determines whether leg raises actually build your abs, or barely do anything. Don't just swing your legs upward. Curl your pelvis toward your chest. If your pelvis never tucks, your hip flexors can take over while your abs do much less of the work. The cue isn't legs up. The cue is pelvis up. Keep it boring. Keep it controlled. 2 seconds up, 3 seconds down. That slower tempo increases your time under tension and kills momentum. And that's the entire point. Slow, controlled. No swinging, no cheating. No throwing your legs around just to hit a bigger number. No bar or captain's chair at home. Do lying leg raises or reverse crunches on the floor using that exact same pelvic curl principle. Start with bent knees, then gradually progress towards straight legs. Second, bicycle crunches. In the famous AC-sponsored muscle activation study, this was the number 1 floor exercise, producing roughly 2.5 times the activation of a regular crunch. Rotation forces your core to stabilize continuously while working both the rectus, abdominis, and the obliques. But there's a huge difference between doing bicycle crunches and actually doing them correctly. Rotate your ribcage and bring your shoulder toward the opposite knee, not just your elbow. Reaching with your elbow is fake rotation. Driving the shoulder across the midline forces your torso to actually twist. And that twist is a major reason this exercise scored so highly. Treat it like a core control drill, not a race against the clock. Slow down until you feel the burn, because once you speed up, momentum starts stealing the work from your abs. Don't yank on your neck. Don't rush. Every rep controlled. Every rotation complete. Now, third, the one I saved for last, weighted cable crunches. The study never tested this. And that's exactly why it matters. Remember that honest note from earlier? Activation does not automatically equal growth. If you want a muscle to grow, you need progressive resistance. You need a way to make the muscle work harder over time. Bodyweight exercises can absolutely be progressed with slower tempos, pauses, or harder variations. But cable crunches make progressive overload incredibly simple and measurable. You add weight to the stack, then over time you add a little more. That's the game. Here's how to do it. Kneel in front of the cable machine. Hold the rope beside your head, then curl yourself into a ball, driving your elbows toward the middle of your thighs. The key is keeping your hips locked in place. The movement should happen through your spine. If your hips are rocking backward and forward, you're cheating. This is where the science becomes practical. Treat your abs like your chest. Treat them like your biceps. Use real resistance. Aim for 8 to 12 controlled reps, then gradually increase the load over time. That's how you build thick, blocky abs instead of simply making your stomach sore. Training at home, anchor a resistance band, high on a door or pull-up bar and kneel down to perform the same crunch, or hold a dumbbell or weight plate against your chest during regular floor crunches. Same idea, loaded movement, progressive overload, measurable progression. Now here's the program, and pay attention to the order in your actual workouts. I saved the weighted crunch for last in this video, but in the gym, the heaviest progressive overload exercise should come first while you're fresh. Weighted cable crunches, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Heavy, controlled, progressive overload, hanging knee raises or leg raises, 3 sets of 8 to 15 reps. And remember, every rep needs that pelvic curl. Bicycle crunches, 2 sets of 16 to 24 total reps. Fully controlled. That's it. Simple, effective, and deliberately uncomplicated. That's the twice a week version. If you train abs 3 times per week, drop each exercise to 2 sets. Higher frequency with fewer sets per session keeps your total weekly volume reasonable and helps prevent unnecessary fatigue. And stop every set about 1 to 2 clean reps before failure. You don't need to destroy your abs every workout. You need to train them intelligently. Now, 3 quick truths before we finish. Number 1, these exercises build the muscle. They do not reveal it. The fat sitting on top of the muscle is a completely different issue. That's a different video. Number 2, you cannot completely isolate your upper abs and lower abs. It's one continuous muscle. Different movements can shift emphasis, but the entire muscle works together. So be skeptical of anyone selling you a magical lower ab exercise. Number 3, abs, just like every other muscle, grow between sessions. You already know this. You wouldn't train your chest every single day. So stop treating your abs like they somehow follow completely different rules. And here's the 1-sentence summary of everything. Hanging leg raises with a pelvic curl. One of the most consistent high scorers in the research. Slow bicycle crunches with full shoulder to knee. Rotation, the king of floor exercises. And weighted crunches. For 8 to 12 heavy reps, the growth engine and the exercise you should start with. That's the combination. Train your abs like they're an actual muscle. 2 to 3 times per week. Use controlled reps. Add a little load over time. And build the muscle underneath the fat. Because when the fat finally comes off, the six-pack doesn't need an introduction. It was already there. If you found this useful and want more evidence-based fitness tips that actually help you build muscle, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next workout.